Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Saka here with another episode of NASCAR Racing 2003 season. We are here at Charlotte once again. Brandon on the outside row there in the Texaco Haviland Ford. We are right behind him, and unfortunately, NASCAR Racing 2003 doesn't let us choose the 50-mile version, just the 60, so we're doing 10 extra miles here in our championship run, but it should be okay. We're looking for a 2 pit stop race this time around, 17 laps in the tank and 40 total laps. It's definitely going to be a 2-stopper. It's all about where we decide to make the first pit. We'll come down the front straightaway here, and green flag should be out soon. And there we go, green flag. We are racing back at Charlotte. Inside groove should have the advantage here. Going into turn 1, we'll have to roll that outside, keep our speed up nice and quick, and see what comes of it. Brandon can get down there on the bottom. We'll have to run this second groove. Outside of Mark Martin here, we've got a good run down the back straightaway. And let's see if we can set up Tony Stewart. Well, nope, yellow flag is going to be out. We'll come across the line to take the yellow, and it is much too early to pit. So I will go ahead and go speed 12 and get back with you for the restart. Coming back to green, pace car is going to duck off. Brandon and I stayed out during that round of pit stops. A bunch of the AI decided to come in. I guess they felt that 1 lap tires were too old, but let's see if we can stay in front of them here. Green flag is back in the air. Brandon will get credit for leading the lap, and laps led here is 1 point, basically 1 position for a lap led. If you lead the most laps, you get another point bonus. Oh geez, Jeff Burton looking to the inside. Let's keep on the outside there. But when every spot matters, the championship has been leveled. Everyone's came into Charlotte the exact same amount of points. So where we basically finish against our fellow Chase competitors is where we're going to be in the standings going into the next round. So very important to get as many bonus points as possible and try to keep as many Chase competitors in our mirror as we can. Brandon is starting to gap us just a touch. We're mainly holding up Jeff Burton and Dale Earnhardt there, both in the Chase and both very strong. Nice and easy into turn 3. We're basically going to wait for our tires to come to us, and we're going to be pitting probably lap 15 or so. With that will basically allow us to get a lot of good use out of the tires on the last stint. But if another yellow were to come out or something were to happen, we would adjust our strategy accordingly. Brandon almost up in the wall there. We'll get a little bit of a run on him. Now, if we're not manufactured teammates, but if he would be so bold as to let me lead a lap, once we gain enough ground on 3rd and 4th place, we could do a swap. I'll lead a lap and then give the lead back to him. Some co-opetition there, working together, because basically we both want to see each other in the championship round, and every point is important. So if I can lead just 1 lap here, that will basically be a free spot on the racetrack for that 1 point. So I'll take everything I possibly can. Car is starting to push now. The good is getting worn out of the tires, but it looks like Brandon will let me go this time around into turn 1. We'll come back around and lead that lap, and then give that position back to him. He doesn't have to do this, but you know, this is for the spirit of competition. We want to race each other heads up, and it'd be a shame if I missed the championship round by 1 point because Brandon didn't let me lead a lap. But we'll come around once more. We'll lead that lap, and then we'll roll out into turn 1 and give him that spot back. There we go. We've led the lap, and off we go. I'll still stay pretty close to him and see if I can make up the spot for real. He's drifting up a bit. This could be a chance. Nope, he's going to get that drive off the second groove. We're right there into turn 3, though. If he slips up, I will go ahead and make the move, but Charlotte is a track that Brandon is very good at, so I don't really anticipate being able to make a good move. It's just settling into pit stops, which we're halfway through this run. We've got 10 laps in the bank, and we're probably going to do another 4 to 5 laps. That way we can do it in one more stop. The other cars, the AI, will definitely have to come down 2 more times as well. Even with just 17 laps in the tank and doing 1 lap, they are not going to have enough to finish the race on 1 more stop. So essentially we got free track position by them pulling off, and it looks like the new tires are not as beneficial when there's only 1 lap on your competitors. Certainly they haven't tried to go around and try to pass me, so minding our P's and Q's here, definitely staying in line, definitely trying to keep up here and trying to survive until the pit stop. Looking in my mirror, it looks like we're gapping them just a little bit. Their tires may be falling off. There's a sort of a breaking point for the AI in their tire wear that, you know, it just falls off, and if you've been conservative on your tires, you can drive away. Looks like maybe we're catching Brandon just a touch here on corner exit. Very nice. So yeah, that was beneficial. If we have a few more laps of that, we may be able to pull up on Brandon's rear bumper, see if we can make a move happen. Turn 3 and 4 is definitely where I'm the weakest, and that's not the best because this is the long straightaway here, the dog leg. You have to be able to get off turn 4 really quickly and carry all of this speed down into turn 1. But let's see if we're better in turns 1 and 2. If we're better on this side of the racetrack, we can hook that bottom better, but he gets that drive off there. Doesn't look like lap traffic is going to be a factor, so I believe next time by, we are going to be pitting. Should be pretty close. We should be okay as far as the 2-stopper is concerned. We'll be coming around to 25 to go, and with 17 laps in the tank, we can either choose to half that run, or we can try to go as long as we can and hope for a hope to lap some people, or we could short pit with 18 to go and really get the use out of fresh tires early. But here we come down. Now we'll go around one more time. We'll keep 1 lap extra. It's always good to try to go 1 extra lap. You definitely don't want to be 1 lap short. But we are coming in this time. We'll be coming around to 24 to go, so we can do 2 12-lap runs if we need to, and we can get up to 17 laps in a run if we absolutely have to. All right, let's come around the banking here. We're going to be pitting. Brandon there on the apron. We're coming down. Wow, that AI. Okay, so they're pitting too. So they got slowed up a whole lot better than we did. All 4 cars, 5 cars there, Dale Jarrett. So everyone is on the essential same pit strategy, and they really gained coming into pit road. We were a tad bit conservative, but what sucks here is I have to go around the 24 of Jeff Gordon. His spot is right before ours. Oh, I'm in his rear. Oh, this is terrible. Oh, and we missed our pit road entry. Well, we screwed up that pit stop. What I'd really like to see now is a caution to try to mitigate our damage, because if this stays green, we have lost all of that time getting into Jeff Gordon and then not being right in our box. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, we're off pit road beside the 20 and behind Jarrett. We lost a lot of spots on pit road. Oh, man. We're just going to have to drive as hard as we can here. We're in traffic. Yeah, essentially those 3 or 4 seconds really screwed us. We should be halfway down the back straightaway and into turn 3 right now. We lost a lot of time. Tony! You gotta be kidding me! Well, looks like Tony Stewart said, no, you aren't coming out beside me. Oh, this is a disastrous turn of events. I hope the car isn't too damaged. But we'll give it a few laps to shake it up, see if it is damaged, because that was just plain ridiculous. I had my fender on the outside. I mean, I was halfway down his car, and he just kept coming up and coming up. Well, when we get to him, we might have to rough him up, because that was deliberate and blatant. If this stays green, though, I'm sort of optimistic, because that means we're going to be catching lap cars. You saw coming off of pit road the number 90 car and all of those lap cars coming out with us. So it's almost like these cars are going to get tangled up in lap traffic, and because we're pretty much alone here, we'll be making up time on every single one of them. And especially if Dale Jarrett goes under Mark Martin here and pushes him into a bad spot. It's all about just going as hard as we can now and taking advantage of any doors that Jarrett may open, because Jarrett seems to be the fastest out here. We'll see if we can get around Mark. Now Mark is pretty even on the speed here. I'll see if I can sort of diamond the corner off, roll to the bottom, get back to the gas early. Wow, Mark Martin really isn't falling back. He is using the most out of his tires. If this is where we're relegated to, that's going to suck. We might have to try some pit strategy. If we've got 14 in the tank and 20 to go, do we want to stay out and hope that we put some guys a lap down, or do we pit in like 6 laps and, you know, try to get the most out of our tires while we can? I don't know if that's going to be the best call, though, because the lap cars are out and about, and really no matter where we come out, we're going to be around either cars for position or cars that are off the pace. Let's just ride here and see what this group does. I can't seem to catch up to Mark, though. I'm running pretty hard, and it looks like his tires are, you know, as equal as mine. But Dale Jarrett is definitely on the tear. He's past Mark Martin and Tony Stewart. Hopefully Jarrett can get caught up in some traffic. Even better if Jarrett gets into some lap cars and causes just a little bit of a spin or a kerfuffle to get us right back into this race. We're not out of it by any means, but certainly we're not as good as we could be. Wow, Mark Martin is just not slowing down. This is nuts. Yeah, his turn 1 entry is really quick. Let's try to... His exit speed is even better, too. Mark Martin just has an overall better driving profile than we do. But there's the pack. That's what I was talking about. We've got a lot of lap cars holding these cars back for position. We will be right back in this in a lap. Yeah, we're going to be making up a lot of time here. They'll start to route those lap cars to the high lane. Tony Stewart driving his nose in there. Well, the way Tony's been driving, that's not a surprise. Let's get under this 90. Let's see if we can make a move. Keep our foot in it. Keep our momentum up. We're on the bottom here of Mark Martin. I'll let him go. We'll get the traffic past here, but still plenty of time here. 17 laps to go, and all of these guys in front of us for position is tangled in traffic. We just have to make some smart moves here, go where they are, and then see if we can sort of catch them off. If they have to slow down a lot here in turn 1 and 2, just sort of lay behind them a bit, get this drive, and then drive to the inside. Can we make it work? Oh, Mark Martin, you are not giving up an inch. You are not the Mark Martin I remember. The Mark Martin I remember would have just sort of let me go since I'm pressuring you this bad, but Mark Martin will not be denied. But thankfully these cars in front of us are punching a pretty good hole through lap traffic. We don't have to work too awful hard around them, but we have to work tremendously around Mark. It looks like maybe his tires are starting to fall off now, and we're at the point where we can do it in one more stop. If we came in now, we could go to the end of the race. So if a yellow flag were to come out, obviously everyone would pit, everyone would be sort of even Steven. Mark, move out of the way. Oh, this race is not going well at all. We glitched through him, hopped up on top of him, bounced in the air. Luckily, Chad Little's sort of holding him up. We can get right back to his back bumper, but I am getting sick and tired of seeing Eagle 1. Mark Martin, get over, man. We'll drive into turn 3, finally get around Mark Martin. That is a hard-fought battle. We'll use that 14 to slow him down. You go away, Mark. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, here we go. Under the 20, we'll use the 2 of Rusty Wallace. He will go under the 4. That should be really good. Let's get around Bobby Hamilton here. Rusty might stick his nose in there. I ought to just drift up and put Tony in the wall, but we'll pass him clean, follow Rusty through. So we've made up 3 or 4 spots there for sure. We were in the top 10 when we started, so top 5 certainly isn't out of the question. Let's see if we can use the 42. No, Rusty cuts down. You better get going, Rusty. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right. I believe we might just cut this second run in half. Probably about 3 or 4 more laps away from a pit stop. Maybe give us 10 laps on good tires to come down and really go for it hard. We only need a can of fuel, so 2 tires could be a legitimate call, but quite frankly, you need 4 tires, and now some cars are starting to come in. They are within the window, so this is their last stop of the race. While we have clean track, we have... Wow, Mark Martin, go away. I cannot believe how fast Mark Martin is running tonight. I haven't raced with Mark really that hard all year. And here we are in, what, October? And we're starting to push. All right, let's come down this time. We'll come down with 10 laps to go. We'll get out of that battle with Mark Martin and Tony Stewart. And we're not around Jeff Gordon, luckily, so we should have a clean entry into pit road. We'll get 4 tires and 1.5 cans of fuel. I don't want to push the fuel too much and run short or have to conserve, so an extra half can is not bad. Certainly not 2 cans of fuel to weight us down, but keep us light here. 4 tires and fuel, boys, and let's get out the door.
Leader coming down pit road, your point.
All right. Hey, why aren't we going? Oh, they're repairing damage. Well, I'm gonna have to turn that off, for crying out loud.
Okay, go, go, go.
You've got to be kidding on me. Well, this race, I can't believe it. This is not our race. Who would have thought that... I don't even remember where I got the damage. I mean, Stewart, but that was just mainly a scrape. Was the left front into Jeff Gordon a lot of damage? I do not know. I shouldn't have repaired damage. We would have been leaving pit road very quickly. Well, I tell you what, we're going to go as hard as we can, but I cannot promise a good finish here, and this is not a good way to start a round where all points are equal, because if I finish last out of the entire chase group, I'm last in the points. I could be cut, and that puts a lot of pressure on us to sort of try to win either Talladega or Kansas. So I am not looking forward to this result. We need to come out clean. Past Bill Elliott, I'm sure he's for a spot. Old Bill was strong, but not too strong. Yeah, we're going to have to let these pit stops cycle through, go hard as we can, scrape the wall. Who cares? I'm not coming down. We cannot afford to be slow. Now, after this second round of pit stops, I'm not exactly sure if the leaders will catch any traffic or if these guys in front of us will catch traffic. That almost seemed like a one pit stop thing. Now that everyone is pitted twice, who knows where all the cars have been spitted out. At this point, I don't even think I want... I mean, a caution would be nice, don't get me wrong. But it would be single file. And unfortunately, NASCAR doesn't filter all the lap cars out of the lead group. So even if a yellow were to come out now, I would be behind the cars for position, certainly, but also in that mix would be lap cars. The caution would have to come out now in order to give us some time to move forward. in 3 or 4 laps, if the caution were to come out, I would rather just have it go green. So I'm fine with it staying green. We are catching some cars. Lap traffic could be a factor. So we're gonna have to bob and weave here. Yeah, just like these idiots here. Let's see if we can set them up and get a drive off turn 2 here. Excellent. Down at the bottom, keep your foot in it. We cannot afford to be stuck behind any rolling roadblocks. Looks like Tony Stewart's there, making his way through traffic. He's probably the next car for a spot. We're in 12th place here, so Tony is our goal. 2 cars for a top 10? I'm hoping. But Tony isn't held up much by Mayfield there in the 12, and Tony's going to have clear track now. So if we cannot get around Mayfield here cleanly, Tony Stewart is just going to drive away from us, and that is going to suck. Let's go. Yeah, we're in desperation mode now. We cannot afford to be stuck behind anyone. Good drive off here, and it's just me and Tony. Oh, this is going to be tight. 4 laps to go. Not that long. Tony will not be held up by traffic, I don't believe. This is just outright sheer drive as hard as you can and hope we can catch Tony Stewart. I mean, every point matters. He is in the chase. You know, we need to pass him, essentially. All right, good drive here. We do have a good 3 and 4, which bodes well for this straightaway. With 3 laps to go, can we catch the gap? The gap, though, the interval is staying pretty even. Maybe lap traffic will be a factor here. We are catching them fairly quickly. Coming around to 2 laps to go, I think we got a shot. It all comes down to lap traffic and where Tony Stewart catches these guys. Yeah, they're 3 wide here. Oh, we're going to catch them, and we're going to catch Tony too. Oh, Elliott Sadler, come on, man. All right, so Elliott Sadler will roll over for us. We are right on the back bumper of Tony Stewart and his Joe Gibbs Racing teammate, Bobby Labonte. That is also for position. Here we go. Sort of blocked to the bottom. Let's force our way down the inside. And we just do not have the momentum and drive off to get under him in turn 3. Let's look to the outside here. Maybe we can get a fender on him. We got our fender. Let's go. Let's go. Coming to 1 lap to go. We're pinned behind Bobby Labonte. He's going to run us to the outside here. Okay, so Tony's going to make that move. We'll follow Tony through. I mean, that's going to be a spot for us, but Bobby Labonte is no longer in this chase. We're not going to make up any points. For crying out loud, we needed to pass Tony, not Bobby. And of course, Bobby Labonte, being the stooge teammate he was, he moved up to block us. Yep, we're not going to get Tony. Going to cross the line in 11th. Certainly not bad for, you know, the grand scheme of things. But when you are fighting 12 cars and 10 out of those 12 cars finish in front of you, it's not a good feeling. I mean, we are not going to be sitting well in the points. Man, that's just a kick in the gut right there with those pit road things. Pit road killed us today, absolutely. I got into Jeff Gordon, and then that made my entry wide. I overshot, and then not, whoa, okay. And then not remembering to turn off repairs because I didn't think I had that much damage, and they go and they start rooting around the engine in the middle of a green flag stop. That's not good for anyone. That is rough. But we'll just move on to the next one and let's see how we shake out. Looking at the points now, Brandon got the win. He will advance to the Eliminator 8, the round of Martinsville, Texas, and Phoenix. And Terry Labonte is our cutoff driver, and we are now on the outside looking in, 1 spot on the racetrack behind. If we had passed Tony Stewart, we would be tied for the cutoff spot. But Stewart and I are tied. Sterling Marlin is on the outside looking in, and Jeff Gordon decided to pit late, putting him 27 points down. Jeff is in a must-win situation now for Talladega and Kansas. Brandon advances. Earnhardt and Ward, they're going to be tough. But we will see what we can do at Talladega. But that's going to do it for me in this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Like, share, and subscribe if you are so bold. Thank you so much for tuning in. And next week, we go plate racing where anything can happen at Talladega. Take care.